Dogecoin. It's had a meteoric rise in popularity and value recently, but what is it? Well, Dogecoin was started as a meme coin and a bit of fun. Two software engineers named Billy Marcus and Jackson Palmer saw the amount of altcoins which were being created besides Bitcoin in 2013, and to poke some fun at the market, decided to create Dogecoin. Now, Dogecoin is very similar in design to Bitcoin, as it was forked from Lucky Coin, which was forked from Litecoin, which itself was forked from Bitcoin. So forking essentially means that they took the Bitcoin blockchain and then created a new set of rules for miners to follow, and literally made a second path for all the future blocks to follow, with that new path for the blockchain being a new and different cryptocurrency altogether. So to explain how Dogecoin works, I'll use a similar example to that which we used for explaining Bitcoin in our other video. So imagine there is a table with 10 people sat around it, you and I included, and on this table there are 100 bottle caps. These bottle caps are our currency on this table, and dollars do not apply here. So in order for me to pay you for a piece of art that you've made, I have to take one of my bottle caps, which are in my possession, this being one of the 100 on the table, and I have to give this bottle cap to you in exchange for that piece of art. So I now have one less bottle cap than I did before, and you have one more. But there are still 100 bottle caps on this table. All we have done is exchanged ownership of one of the bottle caps, and when we made this transaction, each of the 10 people on this table, all of us made a note that I gave you that bottle cap. And we all saw this happen, and we all made a note on our own pieces of paper, which we each used to keep a log of all of the transactions which occur on our table. So each of us can look at our paper sheets at any time and see every transaction which has previously occurred on the table, and we can also look at each of our bottle cap stashes collections and see how many bottle caps each of us has. So now take this example, and instead of 100 bottle caps, we have an unlimited number of Dogecoin, and instead of this table with 10 of us sat around it, we have the whole world with millions of us partaking in the exchange of Dogecoins. So instead of pieces of paper, in order to validate each transaction and to keep a record of them, we have the blockchain, which was first implemented in Bitcoin by Satoshi Nakamoto. And on a very basic level, the blockchain is where you have a block where all of the transactions for around a 1 minute period on Dogecoin fit inside of it. And all of the details of each transaction made on the Dogecoin network are put inside of this block. So Dogecoin miners then volunteer to validate each block by running the Dogecoin software. And what they do is they all compete at solving a mathematical puzzle. The first miner to solve that puzzle allocated to the block wins the right to validate all of the transactions which sit within it. So whoever solves it first declares that they have to the other miners and validates that every transaction which went into that block was legitimate. The block is then confirmed and stamped into the history books of the Dogecoin network. And all of the miners now move on to working on solving the next puzzle for the next block, whilst new transactions all queue up to be put inside of that next block on top. So all of the blocks stack up into a chain of transactions, and the more blocks which are confirmed onto the network by miners on top of the block in which your transaction went, the more confidence you have that your transaction has been stored forever on the blockchain. So this is similar to Bitcoin, other than in Bitcoin it usually takes around 10 minutes to create a new block on the chain, but in Doge it takes about 1 minute, which leads to faster transaction times. But most importantly, whilst Bitcoin is deflationary in design and is a good store of value, with 21 million being the maximum quantity which will ever exist, Dogecoin has no limit on the amount which can be created, rather like the US dollar or other fiat currencies, which our governments just print more of when they feel like it. And when it comes to its popularity, a strong community banded around Dogecoin from the outset, sponsoring a NASCAR driver in 2014 and having Elon Musk, Mark Cuban and others shouting it out throughout 2021 so far. Does this make Doge a good investment? We'll leave that up to you to decide.